And thank you to Lieutenant Governor Delgado joining us here in studio. We just saw a video of you delivering remarks at the police officers ceremony. One thing that officers are dealing with here in central New York and across New York, honestly, is juvenile crime, especially when it comes to repeat offenders. We're seeing spikes in car thefts. What can be done on the state level to help departments here?
Well, the governor was able to announce a comprehensive auto theft reduction program. We've seen some success in that in terms of recovering automobiles as well as auto parts. But you're right to focus on the teen component. Unfortunately, we're seeing a lot of teenagers engage in this and almost treat it as if it's a game. Yeah. And, you know, just last night I was meeting with Bishop Alex over at Victory Temple, somebody who I believe is very, very engaged in the community, trying to work with folks on the ground and with parents to make sure that we offer real opportunities for our young people, to make sure that they stay enriched, stay connected to their communities. The other piece, too, though, is the program that the governor announced is $5 million to ensure that we are creating these kinds of programs for our young people to stay engaged in their communities and take more responsibility for their actions.
All right, so you just mentioned that a little bit. The Office of Service and Civic Engagement.
Yes.
You've been put in charge of that.
Yes.
First of all, what is it and how will it help local communities?
So we are standing up an Office of Service and Civic Engagement. The idea behind this office is a statewide initiative to make sure that we are engaging our young people in the first instance with paid position opportunities, whether it's in the housing space, whether it's in the climate space, whether it's in the food insecurity space. But how do we create more connection with our young people? How do we give people a sense of purpose? And if we can do that at the state level with real opportunities in partnership with our college campuses. Just yesterday I was at SUNY Cortland, talking to young people on that campus, figuring out what they're doing in meaningful ways to serve the extended community. The more that we can, at a state level, create direct and clear pathways for service for our young people, I think the better off we'll be.
Okay. Another pressing issue, affordable housing.
Yes.
It's hard to find a home for many people. Rent sky high as well. We have Migrants moving in, which is a good problem to have, but that's obviously going to put stress on the housing market. Is there something that can be done on the state level to help with the housing market here in Syracuse area?
Absolutely. And, you know, I want to commend the mayor. You know, he's stepped up and worked with the governor to figure out how to provide real funding for the community. There's the trust fund that was created that is going to be leveraging the dollars that Governor Hochul supported. We are also rewarding pro-housing communities across the state, all through central New York in particular, that have decided to really step up and do the heavy lifting. And by doing so, we're incentivizing communities to engage in housing projects, to have eligibility and access to the downtown revitalization initiatives, the DRI programs, the New York Forward programs. These are critical state-funded programs that we invest in the communities. And if you want to be eligible for these communities or be on the top of the order, you need to make sure you have housing initiatives to complement that.
Another pressing issue for families, affordable child care.
Yes.
We have long wait lists to get into child care facilities, lack of child care facilities. They're having a hard time staffing. I know the governor has tried to tackle this. Can you expand on that? What can be done to ease the burden for many families?
Well, the governor certainly, as the first mother to run the state of New York, and myself as a father, twin boys, 10-year-old twins, we both come into this with very personal experiences, trying to make sure that we bring those personal experiences to bear on this issue. $7 billion is being allocated in this space to make sure that we are not only providing spaces for child care, but supporting the workforce as well, and increasing eligibility. For a long time, a number of the subsidies that were provided at the federal level have been capped at a certain income level. We increased that income level so that more individuals could be eligible for subsidies.
All right, we'll leave you on this one, the migrant issue. We know that New York City has sounded the alarm, what's going on there. Upstate communities have fought back with some of Governor Hochul's recommendations about bringing them up to upstate communities. It's even in the court system. Where does this issue currently stand?
Well, currently stands is making sure that the folks in Congress actually do something about what's happening at our borders. That's where it currently stands. The Senate was able to agree on a bipartisan bill that unfortunately folks in the House, particularly on the right, decided to undermine. It's the strongest security bill we've had in decades, and despite that fact, unfortunately, partisan politics got in the way.
All right, well, we're out of time. We'll have to leave it there. Thank you so much for joining us in the studio today.
Thanks for having me.
Okay.